Frame Data is brought to you by money. Consider exchanging some with turndownforwalt.com for some sweet merch, or throw it at my Patreon so I can tell my mom I have an OnlyFans. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Susan Wojcicki here. In this episode of Frame Data, we're going to take a look at the man, the myth, and the legend, Hungrybox. Hbox is no stranger to breaking the sound barrier with his legendary celebrations, and in this episode, we'll be highlighting what peak pop-off performance truly looks like. We're going to break down the pop-off heard round the world, one so powerful that it literally killed a man.
Fuck yeah! Yeah,
Let's check it out. It's February 12th, 2021. The tournament is East Coast Fridays 148. In the age of online events, East Coast Fridays and other tournaments serve as Hungrybox's and many other Melee players' sole means for competitive play. At the top of Hbox's competition for this event was Avery Ginger Wilson, a Michigan Falco player who had just been picked up by Luminosity Gaming 5 days prior. The timing of Ginger's sponsorship could not have been more perfect. These two were clear favorites for winning the event, and the bracket panned out such that they'd be playing for first place, pride, and $11. Prior to this tournament though, Ginger had actually taken their last best of 5 set at Smash Summit 10, also being the first time ever that Ginger had taken more than a single game off of Hungrybox in a tournament set. In the rollback era, Ginger is known for playing in an online event as often as he breathes air, while Hungrybox is known for playing Ultimate, so this matchup is about as dead even as it gets. If we take a look at the bracket, Hungrybox and Ginger first faced off in winners finals. Hbox's stream at this point in the tournament had been receiving a number of bounties, one of which was for a 3-0 win in this very set. He unfortunately would not win the award as he dropped Game 3 to finish the set with a 3-1 victory, but we'll see these bounties again later in the tournament. The set itself is rather unimportant. What we really need to examine here is the pop-off, to see if we can find anything of note that will help us break down what comes next. Let's watch.
Yeah! Yeah! Fuck yeah! Yeah! Fuck yeah! Yeah! There it is. Grand Finals.
Pretty mild, all things considered, but wait a second. Just a few seconds after advancing to Grands, what's Hbox drinking? A LaCroix? And it's mango flavored. This will be important later on, so keep it in mind. In Losers Finals, Ginger would defeat Bobby Big Balls to return to Hungrybox, and in the first set of Grands, Ginger would destroy Hungrybox with a 3-0 win to reset the bracket. Without a second set to fall back on, it's clear the tension is high at this point. Hbox actually goes up 2-0 in the second set, showing he's in absolutely zero danger of losing the tournament. With this in mind, the remaining time in the set is spent to plan the inevitable. How will Hbox celebrate this win? Champagne? Confetti? A giant check? With about 5:40 left on the endgame timer, Hbox finds the final opening to lead to his victory. And even with 2 games of cushion and a stock lead, a Fly Guy interferes with Ginger's recovery to put the final nail in the coffin. But it wouldn't be Ginger going into that coffin. Let's zoom in. He's done it. A celebration somehow better than the EVO 2016 win. He popped off so hard, he rested himself. Hbox's pop-off is the only move in Super Smash Bros. Melee with a variable number of frames depending on the following factors: his opponent, match history, scale of win, tension of set, and fatigue. Oftentimes we see this pop-off as an incredibly long button, even longer than Axe's with more invincibility throughout. An average level pop-off out of Hungrybox can range anywhere from 69 to 420 frames in duration, but here every influencing factor was cranked up to 11. After the set's conclusion, Hbox sits with chat in an important post-tournament analysis. Let's see what he has to say about the win. Now, this makes a lot of sense, but Hungrybox is neglecting to include some very critical information. HBox's stream in its entirety lasted for about 7 hours, where he claims he did not consume a single atom of sustenance. In fact, the last proven food item we had actually seen from Hungrybox was a Domino's pizza purchased in July of 2020. The pizza unfortunately self-destructed on its last stock, being tragically dropped in front of thousands, and there is no discernible proof that Hungrybox has eaten since.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to send out another pizza tonight, because we're closed now, and so the system won't let me take another driver out. The best I can do is give you a credit for it, and if you want to order tomorrow.
I'll take the credit.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
So if we add 7 hours to the last time he had a pizza, this calculates out to over 8 months without nourishment.
And I just remember ending up on the floor. Ending up on the same floor that pizza ended up, all right? So I didn't drop the pizza anymore. I dropped my whole ass body that time.
Without a pizza to his name, HBox's only option at this point is to drop his entire body to the floor in search of those delectable slices he had dropped just a year ago. He unfortunately misses the tech, which costs him a few frames of disadvantage, but it's already too late. HBox can't find the pizza, and it's been 261 days.
I'll tell you, the stream that I had done in total was about 7 hours long, and so I hadn't eaten any food in 7 hours, and I was staying kind of hydrated with some LaCroix, or La Croix, whatever you want to call it.
Remember that LaCroix we talked about earlier? Well, studies show that the average human can survive 8 to 21 days without food and water, and up to 2 months if there's access to an adequate water intake. Sources conveniently don't mention how long a person can survive without LaCroix though, and with HBox as a baseline, it turns out it's at least 261 days. If we assume an average caloric intake of 2,500 calories per day, this calculates out to a deficit of 652,500 calories since HBox last dropped the pizza in July 2020. 1,200 calories is the minimum level needed to survive without the body entering what's called a starvation mode, but LaCroix has no calories. So how the fuck did Hungrybox manage to survive seemingly without any calorie intake for almost a full year? The answer, of course, lies in his pop-offs. When Hungrybox finally finds the pizza he dropped almost a year ago, he'll need to heat it back up, and that's going to take quite a bit of energy. The medical term for Hungrybox's celebration is called syncope. This is defined as fainting, a sudden temporary loss of consciousness, or popping off so hard you fucking die. What happened here was simply a case of HBox expending too much energy too quickly. Now, we've seen HBox pop-offs powerful enough to transcend streams, but this one carries enough energy to completely remove a person from this plane of existence. Exactly how much energy are we talking about, though? Let's take a look. The thermoacoustic effect is the conversion of sound energy into heat energy. Thermoacoustic devices use sound reverberation to convert mechanical energy into a temperature differential or vice versa. Here, we're considering Hungrybox's pop-offs as our thermoacoustic device, converting sound energy into a temperature differential in order to reheat his dinner. The average human yells at about 80 decibels, which produces about 0.001 watts of energy. Since many people will violently argue that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, we'll remove the toppings from our calculations, which leaves us with an approximate 500 gram or 0.5 kilogram Domino's pizza. The specific heat capacity of cheese is about 3,270 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius, while the crust clocks in at about 2,800 joules per kilogram degrees Celsius. For the record, this difference in specific heat capacity is an actual scientific reason why you burn the roof of your mouth on the cheese of the pizza, but not the crust. For the sake of simplicity, we'll drop the specific heat of the cheese and say that we need to raise the internal temperature of the pizza to approximately 165 degrees Fahrenheit from a room temperature of about 68 degrees. Using this equation, we can find that this would require 75,600 joules to heat a single pizza, and since we know the average human produces about 0.001 watts of energy by popping off, we can use this equation to calculate the time needed to output this power. The answer? HBox would need to pop off for 75,600,000 seconds, or 2 years and 135 days, in order to reheat the drop pizza. HBox's 261 days of Mango LaCroix doesn't even come close to the 875 days of popping off required to reheat the Lost Dominoes, so what gives? If we consider the 652,500 calories of deficit we talked about earlier, that equates to a whopping 2,730,060 joules of energy. Assuming a perfect system, that is, perfect energy transfer, perfect insulation to remove heat loss calculations, and a perfect unending steady stream of acoustic energy, the energy expended by Hungrybox's 261 days of exclusive mango LaCroix diet would be capable of heating up to 36 Domino's pizzas. This is obviously a very unrealistic simulation though, as Hungrybox's pop-offs are much louder than 80 decibels. In any case, both HBox and Ginger are incredible players, but Hungrybox's sheer energy output just far outmatched Ginger at this event. Unfortunately, Hungrybox died momentarily, but we can learn one valuable lesson from this. In the world of Super Smash Bros. Melee, there is a single absolute. The only thing that can defeat Hungrybox is Hungrybox. Or a pizza. Or a national LaCroix shortage. Or all of that.
Yes! Fuck! Yes! And I'm not fainting! I'm fucking winning! Yeah!
Thanks for watching. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, Walt here. Shoutouts to Susan Wojcicki for completely shafting my channel analytics, and turndownforwalt.com for making some sick merch. As always, links to any reference data sources will be in the description below. Jokes aside, we love you, HBox, and hope everything is well with you. Stay healthy and keep those incredible pop-offs coming. If you see a play that you think would make for a good breakdown, feel free to tweet at me at turndownforwalt or come chat in our community Discord. Thanks again for watching, and happy April Fool's Day.
But if you think about it, LaCroix, it's just a virgin White Claw.